Well, ladies and gentlemen, we may have a bit of a webbot hit on our hands, possibly. So it looks like, I mentioned this in a video. The appellate court overturns dismissal in J.P. Morgan silver rigging case. First, they said you don't have a case. We're not even going to entertain this. The appeals court says no, there is something here. We do need to entertain it. You can go forward, which leads to discovery, the discovery process, which you can then start asking for documents and things that you may want to see. That's great news for those of us who know that these bastards have been rigging the silver markets and other markets. But I realize this is from the February Webbot report, but this pretty much came out before this happened with the lawsuit, because the data is being collected for at least a month, and then he has to go through painstakingly, put it all together, make some kind of prediction out of it. So yes, it was close, but not quite as far as timing goes from when this report was put out versus the appeals court overturning the dismissal. So someone sent this little bit to me. It says, Cliff mentions this on page 25, fourth paragraph of the February report. If you want to use this in your video, another prediction came true. So it is, but I'm going to read you the whole page basically. And then after that, I want to read you another article from Activist Post about, kind of goes hand in hand with silver anyways. Arizona committee passes bill to support sound money. What do you think they mean by that? So, not exactly related, but kind of. We're talking about silver manipulation and being exposed. And then we have, again, Arizona committee passing a bill to support sound money. Now, it's got a couple more stages to go before it becomes law. But nonetheless, I think it should go well in this video. I'm going to now read the full page of the Webbot report. The herbal organic medicines business is peripherally connected by crosslinks over to the woo-woo previously discussed as the discovery from Antarctica. These sets are suggesting that some information from the discovery indicated to appear over 2017 will cause humanity to adopt the herbal-based health methods in a mass wave that will go through the global population. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean everyone's going to go get marijuana. Again, herbs. You can take dandelion root, grapeseed extract. I talked about this before. Phenomenal at destroying cancer cells. But anyways, the idea from the data sets is that this new information will overturn many, if not most, of the principles and laws of both physics and chemistry. As a natural reaction, the data has herbal medicines becoming the go-to response for any health concerns. Whether there is a specific human physiology information for herbal medicines cannot yet be determined. While there are hints of that within the data sets, it may also be that the natural response is in reaction to the underpinnings of of physics and chemistry becoming undone. As model space has moved through the end of January into about the 12th of February, the immediacy data sets grow in support of a fight around the global view of Israel. By the way, Donald Trump, big pro-Israel, wait till I take over, Mr. Netanyahu. And I just read this morning, he wants to find a two-state solution. So I've always felt like Israel, first of all, you were created in 1948. The Israel that we refer to now is not the Israel the Bible has ever spoken of. Never. Not even kind of. This is a new Israel that is now throwing out the Palestinians, etc. Building on the West Bank, build some more, take over some more, build some more, take over some more. This is not acceptable. But it does go to show you that Trump made us all think, oh, great, he's pro-Israel, here we go. And now I'm finding out he would like to figure out a two-state solution. That also means all these picks and all these things we said that we don't really like Trump's doing right now. And we thought maybe he's doing this for a reason. Like just to give him a chance. He's going to pull one over on all of us in a good way. This kind of gives some credence to that. But these data sets have this being a full-on battle between the propaganda prostitutes, or former mainstream media, and the new media. Within these sets, there are numerous subsets in support of the idea of a coordinated, Israeli-led effort within global markets. The details suggest that within this background action, primarily indicated to be algorithmic trading battles, there are to be emergent price moves for Bitcoin that will be slightly divergent from, but in the same upward direction as gold and silver. These sets have the mainstream media versus the new media battle being a very pivotal temporal marker for both Bitcoin as well as the evolution of the new media within its role as markets analyst or analysis. As model space has moved into February, we continue to have growing new supporting sets with currencies crisis as well as Bitcoin, gold, silver as a positive response. I don't know if you've been following silver and gold lately, but they've been doing quite well. The year from the beginning of this year till now, they're actually doing quite well. These sets are now showing growth arriving in spurts on the 3rd, the 5th, and the 10th of the month. So tomorrow's the 9th. You'll see this the 9th. Next day is the 10th. The new aspect and attributes sets that accrue for February 3rd are for silver and specifically include sets for silver traders and silver exchanges, as well as silver suppression and silver supporting and silver demand. All of these sets in total are slightly more than half of the gain for the day in this tranche of new emotional values. These sets bring in details for sweaty palms, fainting grown men, and heart attacks and aid cars and emergency rooms and vomiting, and other sets that will not be due to the influenza outbreak. The growth spurt on the 5th of February is dominated by Bitcoin, but also has significant support for silver. These new sets bring in temporal markers for positive announcement. I think that's what we're talking about. Positive announcement, the lawsuit can continue. On what? Rigging of silver prices. Okay? These new sets bring in temporal markers for positive announcement about Bitcoin from some officialdom. Along with the positive announcement, there are some sets for an example of justice. The court of law, justice, overturning that, saying you can now sue. Okay? There are some sets for an example of justice. Additional note, very rare in these last few years, that will also be propelling Bitcoin enthusiasm, passion higher. The justice delivered sets are supported by stunning surprise and weak knees release tension into strong legs. This last is a poor transliteration of happy surprising shivers in other sets from non-English sources, and thus may be poorly rendered, but is nonetheless expressive of the emotional tone of the data. So that last paragraph is really the one I wanted to focus on. I just want to read you the full page just to lead into it. But Bitcoin, gold, and silver are the only things that seem to be tied together in these Webot reports. And I can't think of an example of justice for Bitcoin. It's already out there. It's already rising. It's already doing great. There's no one out there saying, oh, they need to stop doing that. They're rigging Bitcoin. There's nothing out there. But there is for silver. And these are in the same, paragraph, Bitcoin and silver. And justice, what's that? Justice, an example of justice. It says, as we move model space forward into February. So what I just read you up until that point was like January timeframe moving forward, like right at the beginning of what the Webot is seeing coming. And then right into February, here's what I'm seeing according to the Webot. The next paragraph is this. So I think maybe this is it. This could be that part of this Webot report. Not that this is a big issue or big deal right now because nothing's happening. Was metal spiking? Did they just get unleashed? No. But again, this is a huge step forward in the right direction. Normally this stuff will get squashed and you never recover. There'll be no lawsuit. There'll be nothing. Good day, sir. And now we find actually you can come forward. Next step is discovery. So I can't wait to see what they pull across for discovery. What documents, and they may say, we just want to see every trade JP Morgan's made on the precious metals exchanges. Both short, long, and when they sold off, how much volume, etc. Who they sold it and who bought it. And boy, oh boy, could you imagine if we see the left hand. Discovery shows the left hand has been selling it to the right hand. The right hand sends it back to the left hand. Massive volume, nothing's exchanging. No metals leaving a warehouse, nothing at all whatsoever. Unbelievable. Now this other one, Arizona committee passes bill to support sound money. February 2nd. It was just posted on, this week and last week. From activistpost.com. An Arizona bill that would eliminate state capital gains taxes on gold and silver specie and encourage its use as a currency passed an important House committee today. Final approval of the legislation would help undermine the Federal Reserve's monopoly on money. Now, you might say, well, hold on a second, Jason. That does kind of fit in with the last thing you just said about the Webbot report. Good news coming, right? Justice being served, if you will. You might say this is justice against the Federal Reserve and their paper Ponzi scheme, allowing real money to come out. Again, that's why I kind of chose to do this tied in with this video, the second one. Representative Mike Fincham, Republican Tucson, introduced House Bill 2014, HB 2014, on January 9th. The legislation would eliminate state capital gains taxes on income derived from the exchange of one kind of legal tender for another kind of legal tender. The bill defines legal tender as a medium of exchange, including specie, that is authorized by the U.S. Constitution or Congress for the payment of debts. And as you know what the 10th Amendment says, it says for the payment of debts, public charges, taxes, and dues. Specie means coins having precious metal content. Okay? In the 10th Amendment to the Constitution does say the states shall issue nothing but gold and silver coin for payment or repayment of debts, etc. So, it's written in the Constitution. I guess they're maybe making it that's the 10th Amendment of the United States Constitution. Maybe they want to add this little piece to their state constitution. In effect, passage of the bill would legalize the Constitution by treating gold and silver specie as money. It's funny how we have to rewrite something that was already written. You don't have to rewrite it. It's there on the books already. Just follow it. That's all. HB 2014 passed the House Ways and Means Committee by a 5-0 vote, with 4 members abstaining. Under current Arizona law, gold and silver are subject to capital gains tax when exchanged for Federal Reserve notes or when used in barter transactions. If the purchasing power of the Federal Reserve note has decreased due to inflation, the metal's nominal value generally rises, and that triggers a gain. In most cases, of course, the capital gain is purely fictional, but these gains are still taxed, thus unfairly punishing people using precious metals as money. There's a little more to this article, but that's all I want to tell you about. Because I want you to think what Lindsey Williams always said. The club, gold and silver is our money. He said that many, many, many years ago. And flat out told Lindsey, that's paper money is for you guys, gold and silver is our money. So if the club, and if they know precious metals are going to be rising soon, we as the club, we don't want to pay capital gains tax on this massive profit we're going to make. Maybe that's why it got a 5-0 vote, and it's going to start in Arizona. If that's the case, then all the club has to do, and if it's only Arizona that does this, the club just moves to Arizona. Oh, I'm in Arizona. I'm selling these silver and gold coins today. Pure profit, no capital gains tax, etc. So this also is another reason why I've always said the number one coin, silver-wise, even gold, but is anything that the mint, U.S. Mint makes, which is the Silver Eagle especially. It does have face value on there. I think, was it $2 or $5 or something, face value? But that, in case they try to get sneaky on us and say, well, not every silver coin or not every gold coin, it's got to be the U.S. Mint created coin. So these little, Indian heads you guys have, they don't count. Whatever. I've got Indian heads. I've got Walking Liberties. I've got Silver Eagles. I've got freaking the 10-ounce Jesus bar whipping the banksters out of the temple. I'll take it all. Silver is silver. And this bill doesn't say that, by the way. It doesn't say it has to be U.S. minted coinage. It doesn't say that. So I think we may have a little bit of a web bot hit in the making, if you know what I mean. Take care.